Yeah, I received a call from their vice president who was able to let us know before they made the announcement that they'd be making a change and they would not be hosting any of the graduations. Well, I think there are a number of spaces. The most common spaces are around both the U.S. Bank Stadium, which some of our neighboring districts are involved with, as well as Target Center.
How likely do you think that Target Center or U.S. Bank will be this space?
I think there's a good chance. I wouldn't want to put a percentage on that because we don't have secure information yet about price and accessibility and some of the things that we've talked about. But to me, those would be natural places because they're either places that Edina has already been and had a good experience with, or that our neighboring districts are finding success with.
That has to do with a couple of things: their size, sound. These are the things that are sometimes also really important to families. Sound quality, and parking, traffic flow. So both of those venues are more than adequate to accommodate us. There are a number of venues in the Twin Cities that are just too small. We've kind of outgrown them.
One of the criteria that we're really looking at is, if possible, we really do want to keep the date and time the same. Our families have prepared for that, and so we anticipate that if it is not on that date, which we hope to have it on that date, that it's very close to that date. And so it wouldn't impede on any type of travel plans or things like that that families have already made.
Yes, we have been communicating with other districts about this. We talk a lot. They are more inclined to share what their experiences have been. And I think Eden Prairie has been at the U.S. Bank Stadium this 2 years now, I think. And they seem to be happy with it. Minnetonka also uses U.S. Bank, and they are happy with it as well. I don't know who has been at the Target Center off the top of my head.
The fact that Edina has used Target Center before brings some type of familiarity, but as you alluded to earlier, there are a lot of high schools that are looking for space now. So we're looking at continued criteria around making sure that that experience for our students and families aligns with our excellence that we have in everything that we do here in Edina, but also considerations around cost, around safety, around all of the things that you would anticipate being part of that decision. But those are two of the main venues that we're spending some time on.
There are pros and cons to both. So I guess I don't know that I specifically have a preference. I can tell you that I have been at 2 graduations at the U.S. Bank, and so I know my experience there. And it was good. There's plenty of space. Audience noise isn't really an issue because it's such a huge space that it just kind of gets absorbed into all of that overhead space, so that's helpful. We have hosted graduation at Target Center before. I do like Target Center as well because there's a little bit more of an intimate feel. It feels like you're closer to the graduates, and we come close to filling up the area allocated to us, whereas at U.S. Bank Stadium, the graduates and their families sit in one area, and then you have 50,000 seats empty, right? So you feel small in there. On the other hand, I think both places have good sound, and the U.S. Bank has really nice visuals on their scoreboards where you can get close-ups of the graduates as they're crossing the stage because they are a little farther away. So a lot of people just kind of look up at those big screens. So I don't know that I have a preference, and we haven't gotten a lot of feedback from the community, but I think either place would be excellent.
Edina's graduation is typically a little earlier than some of the others, so we have an advance, chance or more of an opportunity, I think, to work before others typically do their graduation. So that will be helpful. We definitely anticipate a change in cost, but to what degree, it will depend on the venue and what that looks like. We also know that inflationary expenses will come into play. I think Mariucci, depending on similar venues, is probably on the lower end. So we know that if we move to a different venue, which is now something that we need to look at, it will cost the district more funds. We would anticipate in the next week or two to be able to have direction.